Is a lot of fun. Every Wednesday in June, we go out on the Cleveland Funny Bus. One of us from the show are your hosts week to week. Local comedians are your tour guides, and they do a great job of giving you an interesting twist on everything going down in and around Cleveland. I learn something new every week. You go to funnybus.net. These sell out usually pretty quickly, but I got passes for you. Bill will be your host this Wednesday night. If you want to join him, it leaves from Collision Bend Brewery in the Flats. But again, all the details are at funnybus.net for you. A couple of passes for you to join us this Wednesday night on the Funny Bus with Bill as your host. Good luck, caller 10. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Some things are never meant to be discussed in polite society. Welcome to Impolite Society.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
But it was 20 years ago today. Hard to believe that Metallica dropped Saint Anger and all of the stuff that went along with it. So I'm going to play a lot of Saint Anger bumper music today. And if you are one of those people that doesn't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But they had been recording it when 9/11 happens, and so that kind of kicked them back on their heels as well. It would come out, of course, June 5th, 2003, and there was the documentary that went along with it where they were all in therapy, and but all of that went into, they call it their Pro Tools record too, because if you've listened to it, you know, even 20 years ago, there were drums on that album that there's no way that Lars could play live, so it was fun, but I like Saint Anger a lot. And a lot of people don't, but whatever.
And each their own, you know.
Of course, the new album is called 72 Seasons. We're giving away that trip to Detroit. If you want to see Metallica, it's closest they're going to stop here this fall. They're doing that every city. They're playing football stadiums, and they're doing the whole weekend. So they're doing 2 different sets, 2 different nights, 2 different opening bands. They're doing Fridays and Sundays. So if you go to WMMS.com, we're still giving away tickets for that weekend in Detroit at Ford Field. Metallica will play in the round at the 50-yard line. And I think Pantera and Avenged Sevenfold are their opener. I think there's 4 openers. I think there's 2 per night. I don't remember the other 2, but I think Pantera and Avenged Sevenfold are on those nights.
Oh, Screams of the Sirens, and I think it's Knives in My Eyes.
Or like Knives in My Ears, right?
Huh?
Yeah. Hey.
Okay, well, 200 Stab Wounds, maybe they're on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing a parking
100.
cone.
Killing a parking cone? Is that what you said? Killing a parking cone.
Yeah.
All right.
They're good. Have you not heard of them, Alan?
I have never heard of them.
I thought your ear was to the ground on metal music.
Well,
Misses 2 hours until midnight.
I can't. I can't hear everything.
Well, you should.
200 Stab Wounds. I know Brian likes them.
Yeah.
Slave to the Scalpel is their new album.
Oh.
But no, I haven't heard. What's the band you're talking about?
Oh, Tear Up a Tapestry.
Tear Up the Tapestry? Oh, I thought it was Murder the Parking Cones.
Stabbing a parking cone.
Stabbing the parking cones.
Yeah.
Now it's Tearing Up the Tapestry. Right.
These are 2 different bands.
Aha.
They're small font bands, but I wouldn't expect you to know them.
I guess not.
You're not.
They're the ones that like.
I need to get
You
hip to these
go
bands.
because you want to see them, not the headliner.
Like, yeah, you leave after these guys because they're the openers.
And they start
yeah.
early. They're
Early.
on at like
Noon.
10 a.m.
Oh, 10 a.m.
Well, yeah, like I missed Toledo Death Fest. I think that was last weekend, and that's bands all day long. You got to get there who wants to get to Toledo at noon?
You got to get there at 10 a.m.
With due respect.
For the good bands.
For the good bands, yeah. Accordion style zipper strokes.
Zoot Suit Riot. Accordion style zipper strokes.
No, they're really hardcore.
They're so hard.
Oh, I see. All right,
I
well.
like the squirrel nut zippers.
No.
Okay.
No, they're different. They both say zippers, but different bands.
One of them's got that, how you can tell it's a metal band? They have accordion in the name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, well. Thank God for 200 Stab Wounds because we don't have 3 inches of blood anymore on the road, so that's a real bummer.
You know who's even better than 3 inches of blood?
4 inches of blood.
And 5 inches of blood. And 6 inches of blood. They keep one-upping themselves.
Nope. Hey, next week we're going to start doing this. I'll tell you about it now, but next week we're going to start doing this. The Buzzard is giving away a Harley, and you can win the Buzzard's bike, is what we're calling it. We will start this on Monday. Rover is going to have all the details for you next Monday between 7:30 and 8. And various points throughout the day, you'll be able to win a key and find out if yours starts the custom 2022 Harley, courtesy of WMMS.
How neat.
WMMS.com will have the details, but I think Rover will have the first key next Monday morning. Stansbury will have one. I'll have one. I think Corey Roddick might have one. Excuse me.
Sorry.
And then we'll be out getting people registered, too. There'll be some key drops with Dieter, and so there's going to be a lot going on. But we're going to be talking about it this week to get you prepared for next week when we start handing off keys. And then, of course, on this show, on June the 14th, Taylor Swift tickets, courtesy of the Alan Cox Show. Yes, Poundcake.
My apologies. Didn't we give out a motorcycle back when you used to do those, like back when it was liquid appearances?
What are they called?
Come on.
I do them every season.
He
I
did it
still
last
do them.
season.
Do them every season.
Cox out pregame.
Hey, there you go.
Browns pregame.
Yeah, a couple years ago, a couple years in a row, we gave away a motorcycle. Yeah,
Yeah, because I remember I was there for that. I was like, that's a pretty neat bike. It was
great.
Is it the same type of bike or?
I like that you got all the terminology down for people that are into bikes.
What do you mean?
That's a neat bike.
Well,
It's real neat.
No, I only know.
Hey, you don't have to be a
bikes.
gearhead to know that a hog is pretty sweet, right?
I know a Harley, I know a Kawasaki, and a Yamaha.
That's what he knows. That's okay.
And I know the same bike, a Yamaha.
No, we were giving away Indians, I believe, years ago. We were giving away bikes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that the same people that make a Yamaha also make organs or
And drums. They make a lot of things.
It's
like
just-
keyboards.
like
No, an
keyboards.
organ.
I'm sorry.
I mean, they do make pianos.
I was going to
so they
say,
might make organs.
I mean, Yamaha Motorsports is not making the organs, but I would think that if you're making keyboards, you're probably making organs. You know, there's the Yamaha Music Foundation, and I had, I've had drummer friends who played Yamaha drums. I don't care for them personally, but some people really enjoy them. Yeah, but it is weird. Mitsubishi used to make cars and televisions. You have to have your portfolio diversified.
I was gonna say it's okay for like Bic to have like lighters and pins. That's not too. I mean, it's different, but it's not too wide ranging. But to have like a keyboard and then a motorcycle, like it's just I don't know. It's just
Well,
strange.
what would you have them do?
I don't know. I just
What's cooler than a company that's making musical instruments and motorcycles?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think Yamaha motorcycles I think they spun it off or it's a separate thing now or whatever.
You're gonna feel like Oprah if one of your people gets one of those keys.
How so?
'Cause
One of my people? What do you mean?
like whenever whoever gives it away and then they give away the right key.
Oh, if they win the bike.
Yeah,
if somebody got a key on this show.
yeah. I feel like Oprah when she gave away those.
Well,
cars.
that'll be purely coincidental, but you are free to chalk it up to fate. But it'll be purely coincidental. But yes, I'll be very happy if somebody from this show wins the bike. But anybody getting a key is a WMMS listener, and ultimately, that's what I'm concerned with. We each have our own little pieces of real estate, but the crowd, I don't know, whatever, blah, 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 right? After Hours line, people can leave messages there whenever you want. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey guys, I'm a week or so behind. I heard you guys talking about a toddler that shot two people, and I was wondering if it was one shot that went through two people. I just have a hard time believing the kid wouldn't just drop the gun right then. So if you guys have more information on that story, I'd be curious. Thank you.
I had to look that up because I didn't recall talking about it. But yeah, there was a kid who shot. This was in Indiana a couple of weeks back, where the big clickbait headline was, "Toddler shoots two people, and one of them was a guy who was wanted for murder in Illinois." This was like right over the Indiana border. They wanted to haul this guy back to Chicago, I think. But the kid A 3-year-old fired off one round, which hit and injured 2 people.
Well, one of
So
them
I
was a
don't know if
bad person,
yeah,
so
well, it makes it
Baby-
all right.
baby cop.
Uh-huh. So I don't know if I don't know where they were in relation to the projectile, but yeah, you're right, caller. He fired off one round, and it hit and injured 2 people. Ouch, indeed. Non-life-threatening injuries. But the guy that was there was a friend of the kid's mom, and he was visiting, and they wanted him. I wanted to talk to him. It was an active murder warrant out for him. He wasn't even a person of interest. They were looking for him. Now you say, Alan, why did that kid have a gun? Because we're protecting children in this country. That's why
It's Indiana.
we're protecting children. Mary was in L.A. over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Marina del Rey and El Segundo. Up there a little bit, though, in North Hollywood, they had a big anti-pride protest.
In Hollywood?
I was gonna say.
That's
Right, they went
interesting.
Try that in
Right to
West
their
Hollywood, you get
doorstep,
your ass
yeah.
kicked. This
Yeah.
was North Hollywood. Yeah, this is
Okay.
shades of difference, but there's a reason they didn't do it in West Hollywood where it really would have been fun to watch. They did it up in NoHo where, they ain't gonna. Anyway, but it's like what always makes me laugh is invariably the anti-pride people, the leave our kids alone people, the we're protecting our kids people always throw the first punch. And it's so strange to me that if you're out there, and I know you're making it all up, but let's say that your intentions are good, right? If you were really concerned about protecting children, you wouldn't be punching other people or knocking pro-pride people to the ground in front of a school, which is where it was. It was a North Hollywood school, and there were big 2 groups of people, obviously. And the question that ended this whole thing was why the cops really didn't do much. This is outside an elementary school, and there was going to be a pride assembly or whatever outside the school. I don't think this was part of the school or whatever. And for a while, it was just a lot of screaming until one of the anti-pride people broke into the school and then burned a pride flag or something in one of the classrooms. So then it escalated from there, and people were outside punching people and throwing them to the ground and screaming about karma and whatever.
Just throw karma in there.
Well, just, you know what I mean?
Make it
It's
fit.
all in front. Yeah. I guess the school is, I don't think the school is in session, but if you were really concerned about protecting kids, you might not be fighting in front of them. It's like somebody sent, one of our Florida bureau chiefs sent me the story about this giant brawl that broke out in the middle of a screening of The Little Mermaid in Orlando.
Yeah, I almost saw that this weekend. We went to go see the Stephen King movie instead.
Now, I don't know what's happening between 2 groups of people in a movie theater that gets you to the point where you start throwing bows in the middle of, because if you saw any of the video on Twitter or TikTok, you can hear a whole new world on the screen behind people screaming and punching.
You mean part of your world?
What,
Part of your
I've
world,
never
yeah,
seen
yeah.
it. What's it called?
Part of your world.
Yeah,
Part
A
of your
Whole New
world?
World's Aladdin. Part of
Oh,
your
there you
world
go.
is
Yeah.
Little Mermaid.
See, that's what I need you for on this front. So the protecting kids people, it never seems to extend to having kids watch their parents try to beat the piss out of somebody else. That's never part of it.
So, bitch, you want to see under the seat? I'll put you under the seat.
Under the seat.
You can go ahead and kiss these hands.
All you gotta do is give me your voice. I'll make sure you're silent.
A woman at the North Hollywood protest wearing a Leave Our Kids Alone t-shirt was kicking and punching a pro-pride person to the ground and yelling, "He has to suffer." Because, protecting kids. So, but again, they were all left with the, hey, where the hell are the cops kind of thing. Because the pro-pride people aren't usually the ones throwing their fists. So they rely on law enforcement to come in and kind of scoot the rubes out before it gets to this point. But that's not what happened. But yeah, man, again, there's a reason they didn't try this in West Hollywood. But, fighting during The Little Mermaid. So you were going to go see The Little Mermaid. You go, no, let's go see the Stephen King movie, which I heard was terrible. Is it
What's
any
the
good?
Stephen
What
King
is
The
this?
Boogeyman.
It's the Boogeyman.
This was a Stephen King short story a quarter century ago that they turned into a movie. And
I didn't think it was awful. I went to go see it with my mom because I told you because of her big
She went on
weekend.
the highway.
Yeah, it was huge.
oh, right.
And so I was like, Mom, she went with me and McBoyfriend, and she's a big Stephen King fan. So I was like, I'm gonna treat you. I'm gonna take you out.
What got your mom to finally use the highway instead of all the back roads? Your mom, if people are familiar with Poundcake's mom at all, she's notoriously avoidant of the highways and stuff.
She has never taken the freeway or
Never.
highway in her life.
Right.
In her
Hiding from
I
pterodactyls.
guess 45 years of driving,
Yep.
she has never ridden on the freeway. But it was my nephew's 3rd birthday, and my brother needed help, and he did not have time to go get her. Usually, a family member comes to pick her up, and all of them were busy that day. I was busy. I didn't attend Pride, and I wouldn't have anyways because I would have chosen my nephew's little birthday party. So I couldn't go get her. My brother couldn't go get her. Everyone was busy, and he's like, "You're in your 60s now. You've never driven on the freeway. Today's the day. Like, you have to do it."
Who's telling her this?
My brother.
Okay.
And so
Yeah, because I was going to say,
Giving her a pep talk. Today's the day.
but over the course of her life, there had to have been similar emergency situations.
There was. And I was like, wow, you really did that for, your nephew. But my alternator went out on Route 8 like years ago, and I was on the side of the road, and I'm crying into my steering wheel because everyone thinks I'm poor. And I'm like, Mom, you have to come get me. And she was like, all right, I'll see who can come pick you up. I'm like, you can come get me. Like, you're here.
I'll tell I'll tell you what got her there. The Grand Canyon.
Oh, she had some pep in her step after she went to the Grand Canyon?
I think so. She was outside her comfort zone going to Vegas and the Grand Canyon, right? And now she's like, I can do that. I can drive on the highway.
Well, I was scared for her. I was like, yes, Mom, it is about time. I was happy because she was talking all this stuff, pepping herself up, like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Your brother needs me, and I'm doing it for, your nephew and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's great. But I didn't think she was actually going to do it. Or I was afraid for her because I'm like, trying it now after all these years, it might be overwhelming, and I don't want her to go on it the wrong way or, her not know how to merge or something. So I was scared. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just support you. Call me if you need anything. And I'm getting ready to leave for my gig. And I call her. I'm like, hey, how did it go? She's like, it's fine. I did it. She's like, I went the wrong way, but I made it. I'm like, what do you mean you went the wrong way? I'm thinking like she's went
on the highway, yeah.
That's right. Just went the wrong direction.
She went the wrong direction. She said, she said, I was seeing signs for Sandusky and I knew something was wrong. I was like, oh, okay. But you did it.
Supposed to be going east.
So I was tripping out. That's the equivalent, to put it into perspective, that would be like Mary's mom selling one of her units or something.
Yeah, like getting
or
rid of all of her
Poundcake
storage
taking a
units.
true dump at work.
Yeah, everyone has their own little tics or their little phobias, and that was my mom's for like so long. And I'm like, was it terrible? She's like, no. She's like, I just told the truck to stay in its lane and it better not move because I'll get mad. And I was like, good for you.
Well, do you think that
She's like, hey, it didn't take me 3 hours to get
Exactly.
across town. It was great.
Because she actually she got lost. She went the wrong way.
But still made it in plenty of time because she took the highway.
Yeah, she got lost and went the wrong way because her phone is not routed to take highways. It's routed to like avoid tolls and highways.
That's hilarious.
So
funny.
her phone kept telling her to get off, get off, get off. And she's like, why is it telling me to get off at every exit? That doesn't make any sense. She didn't
Her phone
understand.
screaming at her, you're on a highway.
Yeah.
This is suicide.
So I took her to go see the Stephen King movie. And
Did she enjoy that?
Yeah, she did.
All right. The
So congrats,
Boogeyman
Mom.
is that movie, right?
Yes,
The Boogeyman, yeah. Okay, well, congratulations. Listen, it's never too late to do something new, right? Well
Absolutely.
done. All right. I'm going to take a break here. If you want to send a text, 35192, I'll get you hooked up with tickets for Buzzard Fest after the break. We got Incubus coming and Filter and Live and Bush and many other bands. We're bringing back Buzzard Fest August 4th out at Victory Sports Park. So I'll have a couple of tickets for you after these.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our